Hoover Institute. So, Victor, let's start with this. This is now, the crime surge is clearly a national scale problem. It is nationwide. Take a look at this map. 12 cities where homicides are hitting record numbers this year. Coast to coast, rural areas, cities, it's happening everywhere. Where's the federal government in all of this? Where's the Department of Justice, for example?
Well, they're still under the influence of the summer of 2020 when we had 120 days of looting, arson, assault, murder, $2 billion of property damage, and it was all contextualized as not justified but understandable. I think Chris Cuomo said, since when has riot or protest been peaceful? And so there was a sense that we've kind of redefined crime as the cry of the heart, of the inequity or the lack of equity in the justice system, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, all of these people were staunch defunders of the police in our political system on the left. And Joe Biden I think they're being a little bit inexact because Joe Biden was not a forceful critic of defunding the police. He wanted it both ways in the campaign of 2020. The left has been their trademark is not to be subject to the consequences of their own ideology. So you can have Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Nancy Pelosi with a wall around their estates, and then they think walls don't work on the border. Or the Silicon Valley nomenclatura can say that, we don't like charter schools, but we put our kids in prep school. But crime is a different matter. Without safety and security, you have no civilization, and crime is much more indiscriminate. And so people who defund the police, whether you have a Mercedes or an Acura, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what zip code you are in. Once you lose deterrence, then deterrence is that the criminal makes a cost-to-benefit analysis. And when they decide it's beneficial to commit a crime without fear of punishment, then crime increases. And it'll be indiscriminate.
Excuse me, Victor, I want to
your
stop
title,
you right there.
You're not going to be exempt, is what I'm saying.
I just want to pick up on a thread there. So until very recently, like I think last week, the Biden administration was kind of delegating solutions to the crime crisis to cities and states, saying these are problems in your locales. You take it away from here. They might be now kind of stepping up to the plate a little bit more this week. But is it too late to stem the tide?
Yeah, I think it is too late. But the reason they're a little bit more concerned, what's happened in the last month? You're having smash and grab, and they're not in a middle-class suburb shopping center. They're at Nordstrom. They're in Walnut Creek. They're at Carmel by the Sea. And we've had murders of people not in Fresno or Stockton, California, but in Beverly Hills. Or we've had break-ins and robbing, yes, at Pacific Palisades. And we have a whole mini industry among Hollywood celebrities who always were for defunding the police of bulletproof cars and safe routes. And so the wealthy and the influential on the left feel that their virtue signaling is not working, and they're making that known. And it's not the inner city anymore, or the lower middle classes that are suffering from this crime wave that was enabled by defunding the police and the lack of deterrence. So of course the Biden administration is getting calls from big donors and saying, listen, I live in Beverly Hills. I live in Pacific Palisades. I'm an actor. I'm a state legislature. I'm a congresswoman. This is out of control. What are you doing? It's affecting me. I never thought it was going to affect me. But human nature is human nature. When you lose deterrence, things happen. I think that, the language matters. I was listening to the carjacking described as a joyride. When you put a gun to somebody and you steal their car and their valuables and you get in it and you drive off, that is not a joyride. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right, Victor, we got to leave it there.
That's important. And when you have
Victor, we got to leave it there because we're heading up at
about Daunte Wright, and I understand the tragedy involved. But Daunte Wright was a convicted felon with a record of putting a gun to a young woman's head and robbing her, among other things. And he was pulled over because I've been pulled over for not having insurance tags. But if I had no valid license and no proof of insurance, and I had a warrant out for my arrest, and I had a lengthy felony record, and I resisted arrest, I think that I might run into a panicked officer. I'm not justifying what happened and the verdict, but this idea that we're going to contextualize everything in one direction in a political way. All of these trials and these incidents are becoming iconic politically.
Yeah.
And, you know,
all right, Victor, we got to leave it there. Sorry to cut you off. We're coming up against a hard break now. The Biden administration is making risky moves in Afghanistan that could end